All right. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Rusi galo fragima tagadus kalatia shugadata diga bazunte de baduna kapalia suna kradizas. Lozuzo vida kofalita prali commando siantala banuka shakiatus. Rakwate vrakali brendas bini katali zurubotinak. Rosozo shigabali frenimazuzi bredi beskele buduna kapai. Nasagatus frigibilon tori bakapatus. All right, let me know if you're here. Drop a comment if you're here. All right, please share the link again for those who are. All right, please share the link again. Thagantos kinetori patina savash. Brakus kitele protivele to the vizini brabusita bash. I see you guys. Can we share the link again? Mm. Jojo, how you doing? Zula Nako Frelimi Zubalantus Ficalantus Shina Capratus. All right, so let's go. Oh, I tie up pops. Sorry. God is your strength. God is your strength. All right, so we're reading from the book of Second Kings, chapter 9. Sorry, chapter 19 and verse 26. Therefore, the inhabitants had little power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field and the green herb, as the grass on the housetops and grain blighted that goes bad, that gets spoilt before it is grown. And I said that this particular verse could be a description of Nigeria. That many people right now feel confounded, they feel confused, perplexed, irritated, helpless, hopeless, torn apart, dismayed. You see it in the eyes of people, you see it in the culture. Now, what does dismay mean? What are some of the words similar to dismay? Appall, horrify, shock, shake, alarm, surprise. To dismay, it means to cause someone to feel concern and distress, right? Distress, concern, distress, dismay, confound, right? To annoy, to prove someone wrong, to defeat, to overthrow, right? You know what confound in the Latin is from the word confidere, which means to put together, to mash up, to mix up. So confound, confuse. Do you agree that this is some of the feelings the Nigerians have? But you see, whenever you think about being confounded and dismayed within the context of Second Kings 19, there was something that had happened. The inhabitants had little power. So what confounds you or dismays you actually reveals to you the amount of power you had before. Let me say that again. Anytime you feel dismayed, that's helpless, hopeless, appalled, shocked, shaken, that thing is a revelation. It's revealing to you what amount of power you have or what amount of power you lack. That's what it's doing. So when you see the level of dismay, the level of exhaustion, frustration, exasperation, it begins to show you that Nigeria has little power. Great potential, but little power deployed. Great possibilities, but little power deployed. And why? Because you have many small people, many small men, many small businesses, many small groups. Is somebody following this? I need to please pay attention so that we can move along very quickly. Very quickly. We don't have many mighty men. And it takes a lot of mighty men, or at least a cluster of mighty men, to enthrone the right people. It takes a cluster. What has happened is many people in Nigeria have been very individualistic, or we've had chiefs rise, and then they try to make a change, but then they are quelled. And that thing, it happens in politics, it happens in the culture, it also happens in many churches where there's only one great man of God, one mighty man, one. But listen, if you claim to be mighty and you don't raise other mighty people, maybe you are actually small. Because part of how you prove might is that might humbles itself to make others mighty. Greatness humbles itself to make other people great. We see it from the life of Jesus. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. He came from the palatial residence, from the exotic and exuberantly glorious abode in the spirit realm. And it came into a fallen world filled with filth and flesh and forlornness and foolishness, right? But then he raised other people. They were teenagers, but they were big men. And it's very important. You know, on Tuesday, I said to us that God is not looking at the politicians to fix the country. If politicians could fix the country, they would have. They would have, right? But you see the big parties right now, the two big parties, APC and PDP, people cross carpets based on who's winning, who's reigning, who's in power. They decamp. So at the end of the day, you have the same people in different camps. You have the same crop of corrupt people in different camps. And they also try to infiltrate the new parties that may try or start out trying to get it right, to create the right conditions for transmission, for good governance, to uphold the proper values, to create a system where there's civility and nobility and some productivity and profitability that benefits all. Guess what they do? They begin, in some cases, they even begin to sponsor strife in those parties. If they can't infiltrate, they try to corrupt. If they don't corrupt, they'll try to decimate or disintegrate by sponsoring negativity. Please talk to me in the comments as we go, so I know I'm not speaking to myself alone. And you still need to share this. The more, the merrier. The more, the better. A lot of people are too disillusioned to think intelligently. And so guess what they're going to do? They are going to repeat the errors of the past. Listen, I've come to discover this about humans. People don't change just because they are tired of the status quo. It's possible for you to be tired of a relationship that you know is going to mess up your life, but you still stay in it. Some of you have been there before. You've been in a space before where a relationship was going nowhere but down, leading to nothing but hell. But all of a sudden, you were still in the relationship, even though you were tired of it. This is the reason Nigerians, if they don't get enlightened, if we don't pray, if we don't set things right, guess what? Some Nigerians will still vote the same set of persons in 2027. Now, I know most people will say, God forbid. But we've seen people go through 8 years of abuse, of corruption, of economic hardship, and they still voted the same party. They voted the same party, and some did it out of sympathy. But it seems the men are under telepathy. One moment. Are we getting this? Now, like I said, I'm not even talking about just coming from the political parties, even though, yes, we will speak truth to power, trust God to give us voices in the place that matter, and share some generic things in the places that we have access to, trusting God for divine wisdom to be judicious, tactful,